Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or a new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Game. If you come out and hit them in the mouth from the first play, we're going to be fine. This week's Tackle Nutrition Player of the Week is Isaac Gilbert. Isaac had 7 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, a sack, and also a huge touchdown late. He also played offensive line for us, graded out over 80%, and allowed no sacks, so a huge part of the offense and the defense. We appreciate Tallahatchie Nutrition for everything y'all do for us. Mr. Horn?
Isaac, glad to see some big boys up here. A lot of times O-line, D-line don't get near the credit they deserve, so glad to have you.
Isaac, anything to say?
Go Dogs.
Hello, I'd like to welcome you to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Paul Henry and David Good. The show is brought to you by Gumtree Mortgage and
Jody Walls Brady Brock at Gumtree Mortgage. Like you said, those guys support us every year. They've been a supporter of the Coach Show since we've been doing it, but we really appreciate those guys and what they do for our community and our program.
Well, Coach, big win against a really tough Pontotoc football team last weekend, right?
Yeah, undefeated team coming in. They played some good teams. Just offensively, they were really good, really physical up front. I know before we talked, it was one of the more physical games we played all year, I think. I just did a really good job on the defensive line, on their offensive line, I'm sorry. Quarterback, fullback, wings do a really good job running that offense. Jeff Carter's always going to have his guys ready to play, so we know when they're coming into town or we're going over there, it's going to be a battle. But give our guys some credit. They fought, they scratched, they clawed, came away on top. Got going in the second half offensively. But it's going to be a battle anytime we play those guys. Probably one of the biggest rivalries of New Albany, and I think we played them more than anybody else in the history of the program. So,
well, I know we were talking after the game the other night, with the radio staff and all, and I think that was by far the most physical game we've played so far this year.
Yeah, we've had some good games, some good competition, different things. We've had to, play different defensively, play different offensively, do whatever it takes to kind of, get an advantage. But, certainly I think our defensive front, our defensive line, it was the toughest challenge for them. When you face that offense, you've got to stop dive first and foremost, right? On first downs, I think we said that all but maybe 2 times they've handed off to the fullback on first down. So, you got to start there, right? And when you have some success and stop him, they've got an athletic quarterback that's going to keep it off veer and midline and those things second. So, you've got to have a guy for dive, you got to have a guy for quarterback, and you got to have a guy for pitch. And so, had trouble early in the game. We buckled down, and after those first 2 drives, played much better defensively.
Basically, they had 14 points before we ever touched the ball.
Yeah, they scored, got an onside kick, and we work those things all the time. Our guys do a great job typically with that. Just put a good onside kick, didn't handle it well, and gave them another opportunity. And so, the whole thought process there was stay calm, relax. We got to get back into the game and kind of just play our game. And we eventually did that. We certainly wanted to get our offense on the field. Felt like we had some things that would be successful, and they were, and could move the football on them. And you give our defense guys a break for a minute, just to kind of recompose, make adjustments, and kind of regroup a little bit. So yeah, it was kind of surviving that first part right there, and then trying to turn the tables as the rest of the game went on.
I know you just said it, but adjustments, right? I thought this game the other night we made some huge adjustments there, after those first 2 scoring drives for Pontotoc.
But, and adjustments are one thing, and just guys playing better, doing their job is another thing. We just had to kind of hone in and make sure we were doing what we were supposed to do. At halftime, the defensive staff made a few adjustments. That Gilbert, they weren't running to his side a whole lot. He did a great job. He was our player of the week this week. Had 7 tackles, I think a tackle for a loss, a sack, and then had a big, fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. But they weren't running him. He was doing a great job squeezing his side. Eventually, the defensive staff moved Jaden Hicks to the inside, put him at that 3 technique, and he was able to kind of attack dive a little better from there. And then they started having more trouble with it. So there are some adjustments you make. Sometimes you just kind of get going too. So, but you just credit our guys for keeping on playing, keeping on battling, and finding a way to get back on top.
We had several fumble recoveries. First one of the night came with about 33 seconds left to go in the first quarter. we put together a nice drive and put some points on the board.
Yeah, turnover battle is huge in any game. We talk about that every day on Monday. Coach Murphy's got part of his, keys to the game, and so that's a battle. We always talk about wanting to be in the black. If we're positive, we're in the black. If we're red, we're in the negative. So winning that turnover battle is critical. We want opportunities for offense to put points on the board, right? And so anytime the defense, they've done a good job of it all year, winning that turnover battle and giving us more opportunities. So when you get a turnover and you get points off of it, those are obviously critical.
We go into the half down 14-7. I know I talked to you at the half and basically said just going to kind of keep calm, go in, make some adjustments, and come back out and see how the second half goes. Got the ball starting the second half.
And we do that for a reason. Anytime we win the toss, we're going to try to defer. I feel like we can kind of play that second quarter to match up for a two-possession swing there. But when we got it back to 14-7, felt a little more relaxed. Down 2 scores is always big. So when we were able to get that score, felt better about it, and then held that score through into halftime. The message at halftime was, guys, relax. Calm down, do our job. We're gonna make a few adjustments. We're gonna do what we do. All right, but just go play. You got a whole 24 minutes left to play, and felt like we were the better team. So just tried to instill some confidence in them, and they responded well.
Nemo starts the second half off with a 47-yard touchdown run. We run a 2-point conversion as well to take our first lead of the game at 15-14.
Yeah, and that ended up being huge, right? A lot of different people, coaches and everybody, why do we keep working that over and over and over again? But it's just been a part of what we've done the last several years. The guys know it. They do it every day. Every day we go out there and work that for just a real quick, short amount of time. And so if somebody's not prepared for it and you can steal a point, it can be huge, just like it was. That ended up being the difference in the game when it was all said and done. But a huge score coming out of halftime. Nemo got the ball broke. How long was it?
47.
47 yards. So you're at midfield, and it was just an inside run play that broke, and he did a great job getting into the end zone. But huge play there, for sure.
Tribute to your offensive line,
Yeah.
popping that hole.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. You're only going to go as far as your offensive line, defensive line kind of carry. Whether you're throwing the ball a lot, you got to have great protection. If you run the ball a lot, you got to get pushed and stuff. So our offensive line, I think they're playing better and better as the year's gone on, and we think there's still room to improve there, and they're going to get better and better as it goes. But it's certainly going to be a huge part of what we do offensively. And like I said, responding out of halftime like that, getting up right out when we came back out, that kind of had to put some pressure on them, for sure.
We get another fumble recovery, about 9:15 left to go in the third quarter, and one play, DJ hits a 50-yard touchdown pass from Shettles for another score to put us up 22-14.
Yeah, a huge run after the catch right there. Just put a little flair out there to him, and I think we're gonna have to do more and more of that, right? Teams typically are bringing pressure on us. They don't want Braden to sit back in the pocket very long. They're having to try to get him rushed. So you're going to start seeing more screens, more quick passes out there, quick game. We've talked a lot about that over the past few weeks, about that being an extension of our run game. Braden for 2 weeks in a row has been 80% completion percentage. That's huge. I mean, that's really impressive at any level of football to complete 80% of your passes. And when he's doing that, that gives us a chance. It gives a lot of guys like Jeb and Isaiah Simpson and Xavier Coleman, or DJ, all those guys that can do things with the ball. It gives them chances to do that.
I thought our quick game was kind of the
Right.
turning point when we started using that a little bit more. It was kind of turning point of the game because I think Carter was sitting in the house a lot, was he not?
Like I said, I think, he did it. Other teams in the past have done it. I think that's so far been teams' answer for us. So because of that, we've got to keep working on that stuff to get the ball out quick and give us playmakers chances to make plays.
Pontotoc drives down to the Bulldog 5-yard line, and with 5 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Bulldogs hold on fourth down.
We've done that all year, right? Whether it's a big play and we've ran a guy down and got a hold. Coach Murphy talks a lot about different things to basically give us opportunities to do that. Sudden change is what he says. Sudden change. Anytime there's a big play or a turnover, whatever, we've got to match that and come back and somehow make a play. But defense has done that all year, and just really pleased with the way they keep fighting, keep battling, and are stingy as far as getting people opportunities to score.
About 3 minutes left to go in the third. The Bulldogs hand the ball over to the Warriors, and in 2 plays they put it in the end zone and try to go for 2 to tie the ball game up there. And we hold them on the first play, get a penalty, have to run it again, and hold them again on the second play as well. So
just that
tribute to your defense.
Yeah, you've got to keep battling, got to keep playing the same kind of thing. Sudden change, or when they give up a big play or whatever. Nobody wanted them in the end zone, obviously, but you knew those were going to be 2 huge points right there, and they were. And so you give those guys credit for making a stop right there, keeping us up, and making a huge play right there.
We got the kickoff after that score by Pontotoc, and basically held the ball from 3 minutes to go in the third quarter to 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And we had a turnover on downs about our 10-yard line. Tried to get a timeout there on the play, on the fourth down play.
You know, ultimately from an offensive line standpoint, we want to try to bang the ball in right there. We're inside the 4-yard line, have 2 plays to do it. No, we're going to go for it on fourth down right there with the score win what it was. I think that is the turning point of the game. Our offensive possession, and then the turnaround, the defensive possession that they had the ball. You know, certainly we've got to find ways to get in there. I've got to call a better play. That we've got to execute better, whatever the case is. You know, when you're inside the 4 with 2 yards with 2 downs. You got to come away with touchdowns right there. I knew that was going to be big. You know, didn't get it. You know, was frustrated about not getting it. Like I said, did a little stretch play. It's something we've done before, trying to get an unbalanced set with them. They were lined up pretty well to it. You know, watching film, I think we still could have had it, but we got some pressure inside, a blitz that the guards got to pick up. But just didn't execute good enough. Like I said, tried to get the timeout. I didn't call that. Just was a hair late on getting the timeout, I think. You know. The official, you know, he told me, he said, you know, I heard it, but I didn't have time to blow the whistle. I said, well, if you heard it, whether you blow the whistle or not, you got to give me the timeout. Exactly. But didn't get it, you know, and that, again, a testament to our defense right there, turning around, responding, because that next possession, you know, they got the ball, had a little bit of success right there, and then, you know, quarterback went out with his helmet off. They had trouble with the backup quarterback, backed it up, and then Gilbert gets his score. Where we recovered the fumble in the end zone. So huge possession. You know, we should have got the ball in the end zone. Didn't. Defense stepped up with a huge stop next possession.
That basically, you know, was about 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the ball game when we scored, and Gilbert got on there to put us up 9 points. So you had to be feeling pretty good going into the final few minutes of the game.
You know, we talked a lot about with that offense that they've got, they don't have a tendency to score too quickly, right? So if you get them behind, it may or may not get them out of their game a little bit, whether they're trying to throw the little ball a little bit more, whether they're, regardless of what they're doing, you know, that offense doesn't move the ball quickly most of the time. So especially if you can tackle the dive. But we knew 2 scores right there up. That was a big advantage at that point. Felt pretty good about it. You know, obviously they scored at the very end. Would have liked to have held them out of there, but at that point it didn't matter. They had used their timeouts. And so because of that drive, the offensive, like you talked about previously, and taking so much of that time off the clock, it kind of shortened the game for them in the second half.
We're not known for long extended drives, but did a great job Friday night with that.
You know, like you said, we quick game was better. Right. You know, just chipping away at it. You want to stack first downs on top of each other. However you do that, you know, and we had some big plays also, but they had a safety in the middle of the field. Those corners were staying back a lot. They were trying to take that deep play away from us, and they did that. So we had to rely more on underneath stuff and just, you know, stacking first downs on top of each other. So it helped us keep the ball a little bit longer.
Well, and you also, I mean, Pontotoc the previous 2 games, they scored 40-something points, and we held them, what, 26 the other night?
Yeah, I mean, defensively we played well all year. You know, they did a really good job. You know, we've had a shutout, but we may have played better defensively on some of those games where we allowed points, honestly, because of the competition we're playing, what teams are doing against us. But, you know, we've got a lot of faith in our defense. We've got a lot of faith in our D-line. I think it starts there. We've got experience at linebacker and in the secondary, though. I think we're a very solid defense. You know, and I think that they're critical, you know, to the success of the team and the program, and, you know, they got to play well each Friday night.
A few statistics from this past week. Nemo, 10 carries, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also 2 receptions for 23 yards.
Yeah, you know, Nemo, we've talked about him over and over again. He's a great kid. Huge play, one of the biggest plays of the night, him busting that 47-yard run for a touchdown. Just does a great job. It keeps his legs moving. You know, at times I'll think maybe we're struggling there, and I didn't watch the film, and he's doing better than I anticipated. You know, 61 yards, would have liked to have more rushing yards. Braden's going to continue to be a bigger and bigger part of our run game. You know, so we've got to always try to find ways to run the football, but that quick game, what we say all the time is that is an extension of our run game. You know, so whether it's a hitch or a slant or a quick screen, those are pretty much essentially run plays the way Braden is completing the ball and the way we're catching it. So, there's a lot of ways to get those run yards fast. But Nemo does a great job for us.
Well, and you give Nemo and DJ and them a chance, just get the ball in their hands and good things will happen.
Well, when you start spreading the ball out sideline to sideline, those defenses have to kind of spread out a little bit too. And so that's going to open up opportunity for Nemo to run the ball effectively more and more. So everything's, you're chipping away at different things, and then when you gain something, you attack it.
You mentioned Braden, 16 to 20 for 180 yards and a touchdown. First interception on the season for him this year. Also had 9 rushes for 19 yards.
Little flood route, where DJ's out in the flats and you've got Jeb behind him. I think he just underthrew Jeb a little bit. If he had put a little more air under it, probably could have slipped it in there. I think he could have thrown it to DJ earlier, and would have been fine too. But, we ask our quarterback to do a lot. People don't understand how difficult of a job it is to play quarterback in a spread offense and what we're asking them to read pre-snap, post-snap, what to do with the ball. Brady does a tremendous job for us. He gives us a chance each week to be successful on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, made one mistake, and then how about Jeb right there on the play? Throws a pick, and Jeb goes and steals the ball out. So, Jeb said, I got you, don't worry about it. Went and got the ball. So, Jeb continues to make plays for us. Just a gritty, tough guy, does stuff on all 3 phases of the game for us. But just did a tremendous job, going back there, attacking that guy and getting the ball back. So, got a fresh set of downs and got to keep going. But yeah, unfortunate for the pick. He's not going to do that very much. Like I said, the first one all year. But did a good job for us for sure.
Jeb does about everything but drive the bus to the ball games for us, don't he?
Yeah, he could probably do that if you talk to him about it. Whether he's licensed or not. But yeah, he does do a lot of stuff for us. Holds on special teams. Special team was great this year. This week, Caleb George came in. Grayson Alexander was banged up a little bit. He's got a quad issue. Caleb came in and we didn't miss a step. Did a really good job. Kicked off the ball. Was perfect in extra points. We have a luxury. Grayson's a phenomenal player. How many programs have 2 good kickers? It's so that's a luxury we've got. But those guys, they work hard. They come down there every day. They're kicking with the team, then they go kick on their own. So just the way we are able to be effective on special teams is a huge testament to those 2 guys.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit on the radio, having 2 guys, and especially with being sophomores.
Yep.
Some more stats for the guys. DJ had 4 catches for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Coleman, 4 catches for 11 yards. Jeb Bolin, 3 catches, 41 yards. Isaiah Simpson, 3 catches for 27 yards. And I think Coleman coming in has really made some of these other guys step up. They think, hey, if I'm going to get on the field, I better catch the ball. So he's doing a good job there.
Xavier's a ball of energy, whether it's in the locker room, on the field. I've got to share some old videos from him being in elementary school. I know when he was with Miss Henry, there's a video of him bebopping around, dancing, and just can't stop. So a ball of energy, a lot of fun to be around, but gives us an opportunity to stretch the field. He's got a little speed right there that can, go stretch the field. He does a really good job on some of the screen game. We've been doing that with him some. But, just all those guys can catch the ball when we throw it to them. DJ, 4 catches for 81 yards. We got to get the ball to DJ more, So you got to get the ball to Jeb more, There's only, typically one guy's going to touch the ball other than the quarterback will play. But those guys are all capable. Isaiah, his best game that Isaiah Simpson had, where checked down to him, found him multiple times, got first downs. And again, that goes back to being a testament to those guys, but also Braden spreading the ball out. Knowing we've got multiple guys that can do it. You can't just take one receiver away from us because we've got other guys that can make plays as well.
Well, and Braden, honestly, the other night, he helped us with his legs a little bit a couple times. He had a couple of big plays, running the football.
He's been battling an ankle issue. It's finally feeling better for him. But yeah, Braden's going to run the football for us. We think that is an area he can help us. He's close to 90-pound kid now. 6'2". He's not a small guy back there. And he's running the ball better and better with the ankle getting better. So, look for him to keep running the ball.
Well, we're going to take it to a break now. We're going to bring in a couple of our defensive guys to talk to Mr. Goody.
It's finally game time. The smell of the fresh-cut grass, the sound of the drums as the band gets ready to perform, and of course the roar of the crowd as our hometown New Albany Bulldogs enter the field. Jody Walls and Brady Brock with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany remember those days and agree they were some of the best. They also want your mortgage experience to be the best as well. They pride themselves on excellent customer service and establishing a personal connection with their clients. They also have the knowledge and programs to fit your mortgage needs. So whether you're building, buying, or refinancing your current home, they want to help. Call them and set up an appointment today. Jody Walls and Brady Brock with Gumtree Mortgage. Let them help make your dreams come true. Go Dogs!
All right, want to welcome everybody back in. Got a couple of defensive guys here with me today. Jaden Hicks, Isaac Gilbert. Big part of our defense each and every Friday night. Jaden, I've got you down with 22 tackles on the year, had 9 this past week versus Pontotoc. Tell us a little bit about the game against Pontotoc. Had a new offense, or a new offense that you were kind of targeting with that flex bone.
It was a tough game this week. We not used to seeing wing T without an option and all that. It was just a lot of confusion in the backfield. But we came out second half a whole different, better team. So,
Mr. Gilbert, you have got you on the season with 20 tackles, had 7 tackles this past week against Pontotoc. Also a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Tell us what it felt like to get in the end zone.
Felt great to get my first ever touchdown playing football. I was just ready to play.
Jaden, you've been playing a little bit of offense as well. So tell us a little bit about the heavy package on the offense that you've been running. Got in the end zone a couple of times yourself, hadn't you?
Nah, I was blocking for Parker.
Oh, you blocking?
I had seen that on the live. They were saying that I had got a touchdown, but I was blocking for Skinny.
Oh, okay. I thought you ended up in the end zone this week, but you got a couple of earlier this year, a couple of touchdowns. How's it feel to get in the end zone celebrating?
I ain't gonna lie, that's like one of the best feelings, getting a touchdown.
Well, you also kind of bring a little heavy on your hitting as well. Tell us what it feels like to hit somebody, a quarterback that's running out there wide open.
You get tired of chasing somebody around all the time. So once you get a chance to lay a hit, you're gonna try it.
Feels good, huh? Isaac, you've been playing a little bit of offensive line as well. So you've been playing defensive line, offensive line. What's your favorite so far on this season?
Say my favorite defensive line, getting hit to people in front of me. That's right.
Gotcha. Well, you guys both of their seniors this year. What's been your favorite thing about New Albany football this year?
It's being able to beat adversity.
There you go.
Come on top of people, a lot of doubt.
There you go. And that shows in our record.
Right.
4-0 so far on the season.
Right.
What about you? What's been your favorite part of your senior year so far?
Getting to play with all my teammates.
Playing with all your teammates. Good deal. You also play a little bit of basketball. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You play any basketball? All right. Good deal. Appreciate you guys. We look forward to seeing you guys this coming Friday night against Senatobia. We'll take you to a break. We'll be back after this with more Inside New Albany Football.
I'd like to welcome you back to Inside New Albany Football. Coach got a big game coming in Friday night, right? A tough Senatobia group.
Yeah, huge game. I think, we're 4-0, but every week you're doing that, it gets bigger and bigger. But this is also our first division game. We went down to the wire last year against Senatobia. I think it was 34-31. I would have liked to have 2 more minutes on the clock. I think we would have came out on top if we did. But first division game, we're jumping out of the pan into the fire, so to speak. It's going to be a huge game. We got to have a lot of support out there on Friday night because Senatobia is a good team. They're always good. They're going to be athletic. Their coach, Carter Norris, does a tremendous job with those guys. But hey, we're a good football team too. I think we go play our game, do what we're supposed to. We're going to have a great chance of winning Friday night.
You kind of think, I bet they think the same thing. We played New Albany on the first division game too, right?
Yeah, I saw a post earlier in the week, and Coach Carter talking about being a big game, getting as many Warrior fans here as possible. Same thing for us. We want the stands full of Bulldog fans. They know it's a big game. We know it's a big game. There's 3 phases of football. You've got your non-division, your division, and your playoffs. So we've done really well in non-division so far. We got one more non-division at the end, but now is critical. It's division play, and it starts at the top of Senatobia. They are the top team other than us, the division. we need to play well.
They started out the season with a loss to Memphis Central 28-6. Then they picked up their first win over Hernando 42-7. Beat Independence 51-0. Then had a team out of St. Louis, Missouri come in, beat them 54-0. And then this past week they went into overtime against Winona and won that game 9-6.
And we know Winona's a really good team right there. Athletic, D1 players on the field, just a good program. Had a huge year last year. You know, a lot of points on the board there, some shutouts on there. I think they're a quality opponent on both offense and defense, and they've got a good kicker as well. So I can't brag on Coach Carter Norris and his staff enough. They do a tremendous job. Those guys are always going to be prepared, and they've got athletes. So they're going to try to get them the ball. We're going to try to pursue and tackle, you know. So it's going to be a good test for the Bulldogs. You're going to kind of see where we're at as far as how we match up with other quality 4A opponents. You know, but I think we've played a tough non-division schedule that's ultimately prepared us for it.
Especially the last few weeks with Itawamba and then Pontotoc coming in. Basically, pretty hardcore games for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you know, like we talked about Pontotoc being a physical up front on the offensive side of the ball. Senatobia, you know, if you look at their offense, number 2, it starts with him. You know, he's the running back. He's the guy they want to get the ball to it. Number 3 has been their quarterback last year. He's a slot receiver or a number 2 running back for them this year. Those are the 2 guys, 3 and 2, that you got to stop. They've got a new quarterback, number 12, playing, runs the ball well, throws it okay, but just he runs the offense well. And then they've got some receivers, kind of like us. They've got some guys that are on both sides of the ball. Number 7, number 5, number 1. Those guys are going to be on both sides of the ball. So we're going to have to know where they're at. But it starts with number 2 and number 3. You know, 3 has been banged up. I know he didn't play last week, so if he's on the field, we got to know where he's at and tackle him. If he's not, we can focus more on number 2. But he's a great running back, and we've got to make sure we wrap up. You know, defensively, it starts with a few things. You know, where do we line up? What do we do? So alignment, assignment, we focus on all the time. And then the next 2 things are pursuit and tackle. We've been on our guys defensively the last 2 weeks. I think we've missed some tackles or gave them some second opportunities. Itawamba, number 1, broke a long one and scored. Getting the fullback down this past week, trying to, you know, wrap him down, getting him down, not giving up yards after contact. So that's been a point of emphasis this week with our defense. We've got to tackle better. You know, Coach Murphy says all the time we want to be the best tackling team in 4A football. You know, and those guys know that. They know how to do it. It's just a matter we got to get it done this Friday.
Well, I know traditionally when you think about Senatobia, you know, they're a big track school. They're always going to be in contention, a lot of speed there, right? So.
Yeah, you know, 2, like I said, bragged on number 2, the running back. You know, he can go score whenever he has the ball. You know, and they've got receivers that are capable as well. So, you know, if 3's out, it will severely, you know, make them more leaning towards number 2. If he's out, number 12, you saw against Winona, number 12 ran the ball more at quarterback than he had in the past. But either way, they're a talented group of guys offensively, and we've got to wrap them up. And the biggest thing is we, you know, can't have yards after contact. We got a guy there. We've got to find a way to bring him down.
Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing from their defense.
Yeah, defensively, their side. I think it starts with their defensive line. Number 50 and 57 are probably their leaders on the defensive line. Linebackers, they had a really good linebacker last year that he lost as a senior. He graduated. I think he's playing maybe at Northwest or somewhere, playing some JUCO football. So they're not as good there. I think the best linebacker is number 4. He's one of their outside linebackers. And then in the secondary, it's a lot of guys that are playing receiver. Like I said, 7, 0, 1, 18 is the other one. You know, I think their safeties are probably better than their corners from an individual standpoint. So look for us to, you know, try to take some advantage of that. We want to get the ball to our edge guys. You know, Xavier Coleman, DJ, Jeb, and Isaiah Simpson. Right now, it's basically that quick game stuff, and try to let them make one of those corners miss and then turn a 5-6 yard gain into a 15 or 20 yard gain. So we're going to continue to try to throw the football. We want to continue to throw quick game and just do a good job there.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here with Coach Stubblefield and bring in another Coach Stubblefield, do a little offensive coordinator with Colin Stubblefield after these messages. We'll be back.
Okay, I'd like to welcome you back inside Albany Football. We've got Coach Colin Stubblefield with us, and he just made a funny joke coming into this portion. He said he was here because he didn't want to get fined by his older brother, Big Stubb. So want to make sure we're here for Q&A with the press, I guess, don't we?
That's right. Coach, I'm going to bring up something that's a little bit closer to my heart. I had one that played with you in high school. So tell us a little bit about your 13-1 season here when you finished up at New Albany as a senior.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was super special time in my life. I mean, my senior year, we obviously had a ton of success, had a season to remember. You know, something we're looking forward to hopefully bringing back to this neck of the woods. But you know, I can just remember how much the community really rallied around us, and it was super special. I mean, that whole team, you know, will never forget things like that.
Right.
You know,
Had about 20 seniors on the team when you played as well. So.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of us, you know, continued and played together again at Northeast, and really good team. A lot of us still keep in touch. It was a good time.
Speaking of Northeast, tell us a little bit about your college career after you left New Albany. Went to Northeast and played over there a couple of years, and then tell us a little bit about where you went from there.
Yeah, so after high school, went to Northeast for 2 years. Started every game my 2 years there, and then went to Delta State, played a couple years there. Had a big time, won a lot of games, won a conference championship at Delta State. Just the game of football's really blessed me, and really enjoyed my time in college too.
I also believe you were an All-American at Delta State. Is that right?
I was.
Not to brag a little bit,
Yeah,
but come on, bring it on
not
out.
to brag, but yeah, All-American at Delta State was
That's awesome.
was All-State and at Northeast.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your family.
So I've got 2 brothers. My favorite's Chad Stubblefield, Cody Stubblefield being the middle one. You know, everybody says that second sibling's rough.
Oh yeah.
They hit it right on the head, you know. But and then it is kind of interesting in our family. We're a family of educators. I think between, you know, me, my wife, my 2 brothers, their wives, my mom, my dad, you know, out of 8 people, 6 of them are in education. Right. And so we're kind of, that's the family business, I guess you'd say. And me and Cody are privileged enough to work together and coach together. And so it's a big, New Albany football is a big deal in our family.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your coaching career. Where'd you start out at after you got out of high school?
Yeah, so Jeff Carter at Pontotoc, and actually this guy right here gave me my first job at Pontotoc High School. But yeah, I coached under Jeff Carter, who actually recruited Cody into playing at ICC. He was the OC there, and then later he was the defense coordinator and recruited our area. I think my senior year, which we were just talking about, you know, 13-1 season, I think we had 9 players my senior year, you know, go on and play college football, and I think 8 of those were at Northeast that Jeff Carter signed. And so after playing for him at Northeast, he and Mr. Henry here, you know, gave me my first job at Pontotoc. And so I coached 4 years there, and I think this has been 6 at New Albany after that.
All right, let's break it down with your squad this year. Got several guys up front there that I know you're proud of. Got some seniors, got some juniors, got some sophomores. Tell us a little bit about your squad this year.
Yeah, so this year's kind of interesting. You know, up front we struggled a little bit early, but they're getting a little better every week. Offensive line's different, man. It's one of those things. Those guys really have to play together and build a relationship and be able to kind of know what the other one's going to do before they do it, kind of thing. And we've been, I guess, fortunate enough. We're playing 7 or 8 guys on the offensive line just interchangeably, and so we're getting a lot of people a lot of the reps they need, a lot of the experience they need. But we've got Emmanuel Tucker, you know, is our big junior with all the offers, and he's just, you know, this is really his first year to play O-line, and so he's coming into his own, getting better every week, you know, becoming a guy that we can really count on over there. Beside him, Sam Morton, who started every game for us last year. It's been pretty good for us. Brady Horn started a lot of games at guard last year, but this is his first year to play center. The other side's kid we call Maui, but Michael Hernandez has been good. At left guard, he played a lot last year, and then at left tackle, we've had kind of a I guess two-phase approach. A lot of times these guys split reps, and Isaac Gilbert has been extremely effective in the passing game. Hadn't give up a sack. He's long, has a big wingspan, can really cover ground, and I mean he's definitely our best pass offensive lineman. And then JT Newby's been right there, a lot of times to give Gilbert a break and to really get in there in the run game. We've had some younger guys. Clayton Coleman's gotten some reps, and another kid we call Wisconsin, Isaac Anderson, who's played a lot more here real recently, and I expect him to continue to do that and get better.
It's kind of unusual for a high school to have 7 guys in a rotation for offensive line, but speaks highly of their coach anyway. As far as offensive stats, I'm showing for the year, right now the Bulldogs averaging 118 yards rushing, 172 yards passing, 290 yards per game, and 26.8 points per game. So that's a testament to your offensive line as well.
Yeah, we've got to continue to find ways to run the ball. We would like every one of those stat columns, we would like to get higher. But yeah, we're working. We're getting a little better every week, and we hope to continue that trend.
All right, good deal.
Well, hey, we're doing something right, aren't we? We're rolling into this first division game 4-0, and had a great year so far, and won some tough ones already, right?
Right. Yep. And throughout a season, you win some tough ones like Pontotoc, and that gives your whole team, the experience and knowing that, hey, we can handle this. We've been through the fire, and so I think that'll be a big win that we can kind of draw from.
I'd like to thank you all for tuning in today to Inside New Albany Football. I'm Paul Henry. This is David Goo. Our show is brought to you by Gumtree Mortgage, Brady Brock, and Jody Walls. Thank you, and go Dogs.